I got my old job back. What's your favorite song to get into a happier mood whenever you're sad? I can show you what I got. That is the hot gossip that I have. Good morning and welcome back to my cozy little corner of the internet. I'm Fleur if you're new here. Hey. I mainly make ASMR videos on a different channel, but this is my second channel where I do vlogs, lifestyle stuff, book stuff, mental health, music, whatever I feel like. So if you're into that, please subscribe and stick around. Today I'm going to answer all your questions. I posted on my Instagram stories that I wanted to do a Q&A on this channel and you guys came through. So today I'm going to do my makeup, get ready and answer your questions. I haven't been awake for that long, so I'm feeling a little timid, but I'll wake up throughout this video probably. That would be good. I'm going to start by putting my hair back and I'll go have a look at the questions that you guys asked. Let's start with one that was asked multiple times, and thank you guys are so sweet, but the question is, how are you? So, I'm doing really well, actually. If you don't know me, then this is maybe a nice introduction as well, but I make ASMR YouTube content and that is kind of my job, but a couple months ago I also started working as a youth worker again. I have a degree in pedagogy, which is youth-oriented social work, and I kind of missed having something to do that was more outside the house, if you will, and where I would have co-workers, and I love working with teens, so I got my old job back and I've been working there for 2 months, and I mainly do social media and I run a project around loneliness amongst young people, and it's just been so fun to be back. It's also a little scary and intimidating to be working again after having not worked for a long time. So I'm still navigating all of that and trying to find some balance. But generally I've been having a really good time and I really like my coworkers, so that's been great. I've been feeling motivated with YouTube, feeling creatively inspired, and that just always feels really good. I've been reading a lot more. Yeah, I feel like the only things that are sometimes shitty is my energy levels, which I've talked a bunch about before, but that's still kind of an issue, but a lot less. So I really can't complain. I'm doing pretty well. The next question that was asked is, do you have any tattoo plans? And that's actually really funny because I have an appointment on Thursday, which is in 2 days when I'm filming this. So I do have a tattoo plan. If I upload this after already having gotten the tattoo done, I will insert a clip and I will show you. It's Thursday, I just got back from the tattoo session. I can show you what I got. This is a print by Helene Petriat, who is an artist from Paris, and she created this print in 1916, and it is in French trois filles folles dansant à la lune. 3 silly girls dance under the moon, at least is the translation. I love it. I wanted dancing women and I'm so utterly obsessed. I got it done at Black Sword in Apeldoorn by Matthew. I love that whole tattoo shop. I love the people who work there, and thank you, Matthew. It's wonderful and gorgeous. It's a little dirty. My arm's a little dirty because I got it done today, but I really like the artwork. I wanted dancing women on my arm because I love women and I love frivolity, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but I just like that general vibe, and I came across this print and I thought it was really cool. I love the design, so going to get that put on my arm forever. Someone asked, did you get to go to the Eras tour? And why did you ask me that? Why did you have to remind me of the fact that I didn't? I had a ticket, and because of my health and energy, I really couldn't go, so I had to sell my ticket. I missed it, but I feel like I've seen so much of it on my Instagram feed that I kind of feel like I did go there and I have seen the show. I don't know. I also saw it on the Disney Plus thing. The next question is, what are you looking for the most or most excited for currently? Definitely that tattoo appointment. I've been looking forward to that for quite a while, so that's really exciting. And I have a trip planned to go to Geneva. My cousin lives there with his wife, and I am gonna go visit them very soon, and I'm really excited about that. I love going on a little trip. I've never been in Geneva. I love Switzerland and I love France, and I mean they live in France next to Geneva. You know how Geneva kind of like is sort of in both places. That yeah. So that'll be exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't really talked about the products that I'm using. Wait. I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer as my primer. I am using the Too Faced concealer that I got at a drugs or at a beauty store to try out. That's my concealer, and then I am now using this Rare Beauty contour stick to contour my face. See if I can remember to talk about the products. I feel like I've done my makeup on my ASMR channel so many times that I kind of forget that people are interested in still hearing about what I'm using. So it's not on purpose, and if I skip out on anything, you want to know anything, just drop me a comment and I'll answer it. I always have the horrible fear that this ends up looking like poop on my face when I'm filming. Because sometimes I'll look back the footage and I'm like, oh, that looks so awful. This is nice exposure therapy, I guess. I'm not really getting ready for anything in particular. I do have work today, but I don't always wear makeup when I go to work. So this is just so that I have something to do with my hands while we talk, because you make me nervous. Can we see some more clothes you made or the process, please? If you don't know, I've been taking sewing classes. I've been doing that for 2 months now, and I am slowly making progress in my creations. I've always wanted to sew. My mom knows how to sew and my grandma does, and I have my grandma's sewing machine, and taking these classes has to be one of the best decisions that I made this year, because I'm learning it from a professional, and I'm learning patience, and I'm learning to do it all the proper ways, and I'm really glad that I found her. I go to the class every Wednesday morning, and it's in a very sweet atelier, and it's with 4 other elderly women and me, and it's so fun and cozy. And she just gives me great coffee and helps me when I need help. And I started out with a dress that I had started making at home before I started the classes. So I just brought that one in, and she taught me how to put in a zipper in a dress. And I really learned that just because the pattern works doesn't mean that it works on your body, you know, and learning to adjust clothing to your own size is a pretty difficult thing. At least I find it difficult to make those adjustments and do the math, because I suck at math. I'm using this Rare Beauty blush, by the way, in the color Hope. But so I started out with that dress, and then I abandoned that after a while because everything kept going wrong. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is just my first project dress. Maybe I'll finish it one day. Maybe I just won't. I don't really care that much. And then I started making shorts, boxer shorts from Sydney Graham. And I really like her patterns and her tutorials. I did a lot of practice rounds with the things that I'm making. And I never really start out intending it to be a practice round. But with the shorts, I did do that. So I took the pattern to sewing class, did it on a white fabric, used a red thread so I could really see what I was doing. And then when I got home, I made it in a different fabric. And I think it turned out really cute, and I wear it all the time. So that's been really cool. And right now I'm making linen trousers. I was hoping to finish it this past weekend, but I didn't. And the needle on my machine broke, and putting in a zipper in trousers was really difficult, but I did it, and getting the waistband to fit right, and I don't know, I was running into some problems, so I'm hoping to finish it later this week. I finished my trousers. This is a pair of linen trousers that cost me around 25 euros for the fabric. I borrowed inside fabric from my sewing teacher. It's over 15 hours of work, and that means that I took about 6 classes, which means that it was about 90 euros in total. So you do the math. When you buy a pair of Zara trousers for 30 bucks, that probably doesn't add up to the labor. But those are the projects that I'm currently working on. After this, I think I'm gonna make a long skirt. I don't know, I want to move to some spring and summer items that I can wear immediately, so I'm hoping to do that soon. Now for powder, I'm going to use a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, and I'm using a tiny brush because I'm really only putting powder on the places where I put my concealer, which is under my eyes, and then a little in the T-zone, so on the forehead and on the chin, because I'm going to put powder products over where I put cream products. Answer a next question. Favorite way to spend your time these days? So that's making YouTube videos, working, sewing, seeing friends, reading. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. What do you nerd out over most? Very good question. Would love to talk about it. So I can be a little bit of a nerd about tech stuff. I think I got that from my dad, who is a huge nerd about tech stuff. And so I always loved going to the electronics store. Like in the Netherlands, we have MediaMarkt and Coolblue and stuff. I like going to those stores, I really do. In December, I got a new camera, which is a Sony a7C Mark II. And figuring out what camera I wanted, I had a Nikon Z30. I wasn't happy with it, and I spent so much time figuring out what camera I want and what specs are important to me, you know, what I would be using it for, how long I would be using it for. So things like it has to be able to run for a long time, and I wanted to have an EVF, an electronic viewfinder, if I want to do photography, because I'm planning on using this camera for years and years and years. So I want it to be versatile. I want it to be kind of compact. I want it to have a flip out screen on the side. I would prefer it to be full frame if I can manage, but APS-C would be fine for me. What does that mean? I love going into rabbit holes like that. So I've been nerding out over cameras a lot. I know a lot about them now. I'm learning always about color grading, about videography, about storytelling, about being a content creator, making YouTube videos. I love nerding out about all of that as well. I love nerding out about books, but I'm not super nerdy about it. Like I don't know a lot about authors and author world. I love nerding out about what's happening in the world, but that mainly makes me sad when I do a lot of research on that, so try not to do that too much. And then currently I'm loving nerding out about sewing. I can nerd out about music. Like there are so many different things that I'm interested in, which is kind of, it's amazing, but it's also a problem sometimes because it's like I don't have the time in the week to do all the things that I want to do and learn all the things that I want to learn. But definitely camera stuff, tech stuff. Yeah, I think that those are the biggest ones that I can really nerd out over and do my research and learn all the specs. And so yeah, if you need any camera advice, truly let me know. I would love to help. I would love to get this knowledge out of my brain into something else. So yeah, just reach out if you need help. Next question. Let's talk about books and music and stuff for a sec. First question is, how do you feel about dark romance book? It's starting to become my favorite. I'm loving that for you. What does dark romance actually mean? Because I don't even know. I don't think that that's for me. But you know what? I'm just gonna Google this. Wait. What is dark romance? Oh yeah, no, I don't like violence in romance. Absolutely fucking not. Nope. That's not my thing. I love a morally gray character, and I love a morally gray story, and I love it when there is friction and when the characters aren't completely likable and when they are flawed, you know? I love that when a book kind of plays with you in that way, but I don't like violent men or women. I don't think that that's my vibe. Okay, I'm gonna put a powder blush on. I don't know if I already did that, but this is the Shelly blush by Benefit. Using a tiny brush, I'm gonna go over the cream blush that we just did. Blush blindness. What's your favorite Carly Fortune book? Well, funny that you should ask. I just made a whole video where I'm reading my screen time and I'm kind of freaking out over a Carly Fortune book. So my favorite one by her, the most recent one that I read and rated 5 stars was One Golden Summer, because I just had the most beautiful reading experience. It was amazing. It was everything I wanted. But I think that my favorite is Every Summer After, because it was just my first contemporary romance that I read in years and years and years, and it really rekindled my love for reading. So that book will just always be kind of special to me. So I have to say Every Summer After. It's childhood best friends, it's a lover's second chance romance type of thing, slow burn, teenage angsty feelings, summer. It's scrumptious. Are there any books that gave you a different perspective on mental health and or helped with burnout? That's a really good question. I think books that gave me a different perspective on mental health, I'm staring at my bookshelf right now. I really liked I really liked Untamed by Glennon Doyle, which is just really about giving less of a fuck about what other people think and pursuing your own happiness, and especially as women in the ways that we've been conditioned to please and to fit into molds and be so adaptive. I really enjoyed that story. I kind of really enjoyed The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, even though I don't really like his writing. I do appreciate what he's saying, and it taught me a lot about presence, and I was meditating a lot at that time. I still am. It's still part of my life, but I feel like I was really into meditation at the time that I read it, so it was very motivating to read that, and that really helped me. I feel like in my burnout recovery, specifically meditation and yoga nidra, mindfulness have been so important, and setting boundaries, expressing myself, like coming home to myself more, if you will. And then there's also a book called All About Love by Bell Hooks, and that was also really nice to read because I like her take on love, what love means, what we need as a society in relation to love, and I just thought it was really beautiful, so I'd highly recommend that one as well. Now, time for highlighter. I'm going to use this Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Enlighten. This is the one that I got fairly new, and I really like it. I put some on my hand, and then I take my ring finger. I don't know if you can see, but she's shiny alright. And then usually I'll just use a different finger to kind of blend that out if I use too much, like I did now, of course. Someone asked, I love your book reviews. I'm interested if you enjoy film and TV too. I don't really watch TV, but I love films. I just haven't really been watching a lot lately because I've been reading a lot and creating a lot, so I've also been watching a lot more YouTube than I normally did, I think. So I'm just sitting down a little bit less to put on a movie, and I'll just put on a YouTube video or something like that. So I'm not as up to date as I would like to be, but I do love films and watching shows. I think that my favorite movie is Interstellar and High School Musical. And then some people have asked me questions about my love life, and they want tea on my dating life, and I have nothing to report. I have absolutely nothing to report. I re-downloaded Hinge a while ago just because I'm interested in meeting people, but that's kind of where it starts and ends. I don't really know what I want. Dating on the apps feels forced, and it's just not my preferred way of meeting people, but then I am not really meeting people where I live right now, so that's kind of all I have to say about it. I really don't have anything to report, unfortunately. I haven't been on any fun dates, also nothing weird happened, luckily. So yeah, things have been pretty chill around here, but like I mentioned before, I'm so busy with work and doing YouTube and taking my sewing classes, like I'm truly not thinking about it that often at all. So I'm really liking that. I actually really like not having men as a central focus point in my life right now, and as a girl who definitely did focus a lot on that, or would worry about what men thought of me or if I was desirable enough, and it's been really nice to not be so focused on that right now. I don't have a lot of hot gossip other than that I talked about this on my Instagram story, so I feel like I can share it here as well. I recently went to a local party and there were a lot of people that I hadn't seen in years, and people kind of know that I have a YouTube channel now and that I make ASMR, and someone tried to make a joke about my channel and a video that I made, and I didn't know what video they were talking about, and so that was kind of awkward. And as someone who has always been such a people pleaser and really doesn't like not having control over how people perceive me, even though that comes with the territory of being online and generally being a person, of course, you can't control how people think about you and how they talk about you when you're not there. And having them talk about a video that was like sent around or whatever, that was very confronting to me, because it was like the confirmation of, oh yeah, people are talking behind your back and they are sending videos to each other of you. And while I generally don't think that behavior is cool, I think it's very lame. I don't know what the tone is, of course, for sending those videos, but knowing those people, I'm like, So, I mean, it's not a great feeling, but at the same time, I'm so proud of what I have and the wonderful people in my life that it was like, it was fine, and that I could really look at it as good exposure therapy and a moment to be proud of myself for how far I've come, because 16-year-old me would have dreamt of having a YouTube channel but did not have the guts to post it. And now being 25 and having a channel and making a nice income out of it, that is so cool. It's not this channel that I'm talking about, by the way. This channel is more for fancies. That is the hot gossip that I have. I'm using this e.l.f. lash extender tubing mascara and I'm really liking it. Haven't had it for that long, but so far very content with it, and it's very affordable, so I would recommend. And then for lips, I'm gonna use a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip pencil. Just line my lips. And then I'm going to use this Sephora Outrageous Intense Lip Plumping Gloss. It doesn't have a color, but it has this iridescent kind of shine to it. Do you like it? And then that's the makeup. Let me take out these. And then boom, I'm ready for the day. But let's answer some more questions. What's your favorite song to get into a happier mood whenever you're sad? It has to be something disco and like funky. I like Let's Hear It for the Boy. I also love Dollar Bill Bar by Sierra Farrell, which is a country song. Cowboy Gangster Politician. Yeah, I think just disco stuff as well always will make me feel better. I don't have a specific song for that right now. As a child, what did you want to be when you grow up? I always wanted to be a teacher or a superstar. Oh. Got any songwriting tips for aspiring writers? I know how to play or write guitar, but the rest, I don't know because I don't do it professionally. If you are newer and you don't know about my music stuff, I have 2 songs out on Spotify and I do write music. I don't post it that much anymore, but it was a big part of my online life as well for a while. I posted a lot on Ultimate Guitar when I would write something or I would post covers and stuff. But for tips, I really don't know because it's something that I still struggle with and I'm still really figuring out and learning how to do. For me, it really helps that I already journal so much. So I like to look at what I've written in just my journal entries. And also I like to think a lot about the story that I'm trying to tell and what is it that I really want to say. And a song can be anything. It can be the most random stuff. It can be funny. It can be so simple. It can be so complex, so deep. Anything is good as long as it's coming from the heart, I always think. And definitely write what you want to write and not what you think other people want to hear. Yeah, that's the advice that I would give. What is your reason? You seem like a really committed person, so where does that come from? That's a cool question. It's a deep question. If you mean my YouTube videos and creating stuff online and things like that, I think because I want to be a positive voice online and I want to curate an online safe space. I always think that we have more in common than where we are different, and that we are a lot more connected than we pretend that we are, and with how disconnected I felt since experiencing social media and swiping on my phone and scrolling and working all the time, the pressure that's been put on everyone. I think that I just feel really good in the idea that I can contribute in a positive way to the online world. I think that that makes me driven. And also I'm learning new skills and being creative and expressing myself, and that really makes me feel driven and excited. So sometimes I'm not thinking about it that much and I'm just doing it because it's fun. And yeah, that might be my reason. What's your dream destination to travel to? I would love to go to New Zealand. I've been to Australia when I was 18, so that's 7 years ago now. And I would love to go to New Zealand and see the country. I would love to go back to Australia, but it's so far away and it's so expensive. So that's kind of on my long distance list, I think, because I'm also really scared of traveling that long, because last time I went to Australia, my flight back home was so long that it made me travel sick for weeks after. And so that kind of messed with my head a little bit. So I've been doing shorter trips, but I'll get there at some point. And then multiple people ask if I've ever been to the UK. I haven't, but I really, really want to go. It's definitely also on my list. Yeah, I think it would be really cool to visit. There are many places that I would like to see. And then I also got a lot of questions about my burnout and burnout recovery, so much so that I think I'm going to make a separate video on my recovery. And I'll bring your questions along because I feel like they deserve a little bit more time and space. It's a more serious topic. I just wanted to hang out and chit chat, you know, and we'll unpack the mental health stuff in a next video. Thank you so much for sending your questions and for being interested and for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you being here, and I will gladly see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Here's a forehead kiss. Bye.